It's Friday, which means we are back with another video. Let's find out what today's question is. Okay, so today's question is there a diet plan that can help with the symptoms of ulcerative colitis? Now, before I answer this question, I just want to declare straight off that I am not a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a doctor. Neither do I pretend to be. This is simply stuff that I have found myself, tried out myself, and found useful. So I'm just going to share with you the results that work for me, and if you can take that and do something with it and help yourself, then that's all I'm looking for. So when it comes to diet plans for ulcerative colitis, the long and short answer is yes and no. Is there a generic diet plan that anyone can follow to help with the symptoms? No. And the reason for that is because every single person that gets ulcerative colitis is different. Different things affect it, their trigger foods are going to be different. A single plan to follow for every single person is just not going to work, it's not possible. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use food in a certain way to your advantage. Certain things you can do to figure out what is causing your problems, how to control them, what to do when you get your flare-ups, and how to put yourself at ease. The most simple thing, well, the most boring thing, but the most simple thing I done when I was suffering from ulcerative colitis myself was a technique called FODMAPing. Now, FODMAPing is boring as hell. It's basically a process that you follow, a process of elimination effectively. You need to identify what your trigger foods are. Now, for those of you who don't know what trigger foods are, these are foods that cause flare-ups. This can range from slight bloating to severe problems. So you need to identify what they are, and the only way you can do that, unfortunately, is to remove every single possible food group out of your diet that could cause these problems. You go down to a bland, boring, rabbit food style diet, and then one by one each day you will introduce a new food group. And then what you do is you keep a diary of what happens when you have this food. So let's say, for instance, you start off and you introduce onions on a Monday. If you don't get any problems with it, happy days, write that down. That is now safe food that you can have in your diet. If it goes the other way and you get problems, that is now a trigger food, so you avoid that and take it out of your diet. The next day you introduce something else, and effectively what this will give you is a list of foods that you are able to eat that are safe and don't cause you any problems. Now, this isn't going to work for everyone. As I say, there's different factors that affect it with different people. With ulcerative colitis, there's a lot of triggers. A big one for me was stress. So I could do whatever I wanted in the diet. Until I controlled my stress, it wasn't going to happen. So you need to look at what external factors are also affecting your condition. Some people just have a bad time with it. I mean, personally, I've had a few people in my family with the condition, and all of us have suffered differently. However, like I say, with the external factors, you need to identify what is causing your problems. If it's diet, try it. Try and clear it up. Try and do the FODMAP method, because there's a lot of things that can affect it. I mean, I personally was naive to this when I started doing it. I would drink coffee, I'd drink tea, I'd drink alcohol, I'd eat sugar. It wasn't until I identified what my trigger foods were I was able to control my symptoms. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute this is going to cure colitis, because it won't. This is literally when you're having a flare-up or when you're in remission, it's going to keep you in remission. Now, mentioning flare-ups, this is a completely different kettle of fish, because when you're having a flare-up, you need foods that are low stress on your digestive system. And these are foods made up of low residue foods, so that will consist of basically everything you're told not to eat if you're trying to be healthy. So this is going to be things like your white pasta, white bread, biscuits, cakes. Low residue food is fast burning, so it's food that you'll eat, your body burns it up as energy and goes. There's hardly any fibre in your diet. Now, this is a very, very short-term diet, because it's literally to control your symptoms, get your flares down and put you back in remission. Then once you're in remission, you can then start tailoring your diet again. Get a bit more foods into your diet, healthier foods, but don't go rushing in. Use this FODMAP method. Introduce them one by one. Find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. This isn't going to work for everyone. Everyone is different that suffers with ulcerative colitis. The FODMAP method might not work for you, and that is something you need to speak to your GP, your consultant, go see a nutritionist, go see a dietitian. I am merely telling you what worked for me at the time. For those of you that do know me, you'll know that I've since had 3 operations to effectively cure me of ulcerative colitis. It's a long road of surgery and recovery, and it's something I can touch on in another video if people wanted to see that. When I was suffering from ulcerative colitis, these are the steps that I took to try and give myself the best quality of life that I could. However, even since I've had that surgery, there are still food groups that I avoid, there are still food groups that I know are going to cause me problems. So doing this list of giving you a basic foundation you can build off is always going to be helpful, regardless of what your journey is in your condition. If you've just been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, jump on it straight away, because the sooner you get it under control, the better it's going to be for yourself. And even if you're at my stage where you're 2.5 years out of recovery from surgeries, you can still use this method. If I have bad days, I will refer back to that log of food that I've got and tell myself what I can and can't eat. I really hope this helps someone out there. If it does, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to discuss this in more detail with you. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, and if you don't already, please subscribe to my channel, as there will be a lot more videos coming touching on different subjects, so I hope you find one that is relevant for you. Until next time, take care of yourselves.